So one of the most positive experiences, queer experiences I've had on Westchester's campus was the first time that I walked into Shades of the Rainbow. So Shades of the Rainbow is the queer and trans people of color group, and the first time I walked in, I was really nervous. It was like my first time going to anything because I couldn't go to Saga, and everyone was so friendly. We had food, cookout style, and I got to meet and share experiences with people I had never met before and who all had similar experiences to me, and it really set me up as to be happy and to have like a positive conception of the queer and trans community here at Westchester because of that first initial meeting.
Queer experience that I had here at Westchester, a positive one to be exact, was when I was like a wee little, like just coming out trans girl. I had the opportunity to talk to a playwright here on campus, and we talked about the life you live as a trans person, and she actually helped integrate that into a play that I got to perform not only here at Westchester but also at New York. So I think that's a really positive experience.
So one positive queer experience I had at WCU was being able to find other folks in the community who are like me. So that's something I didn't get in my undergrad. So one word to describe my experience here at Westchester as a grad student would probably be dynamic. And I know the members of my team don't really like that word, but I think that just because, where I came in and everything that I've kind of been a part of has been like ever changing. And I think that dynamic just kind of captures the state that, Westchester was in when I got here. And it continues to be that way. So.
Or to describe my entire experience here, I would probably use the word resilient, because I've met so many people who go against the grain all the time and are always kind of just showing awesome resilience and showing awesome just queerness here. It's quite beautiful, quite honestly.
One word that I would say encompasses my experience at Westchester University would be dynamic. And the reason I use dynamic is because I've had some of the most amazing times of my life here, and I've had some really, really difficult times on this campus. And from the beginning of my freshman year, the people that I hung out with, the experiences I had, are completely different from where I'm ending my college career. And it's helped me really grow as a person. So dynamic is the word I would choose.
So my advice for anybody who's currently attending Westchester or who hopes to attend Westchester or apply for a job here or anything like that, I think that there are two things to remember. One thing is that we're not perfect as much as we pretend to be. Our school has its issues, but secondly, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't feel free to kind of be who you are. And I think that that's what's most exciting about Westchester is that you can have the freedom to be yourself, and even though there might be people who don't agree with that or whatever.
So my advice for current trans and queer students here would definitely be just to do you. I mean, I know that's really cliche, but I remember when I was first coming out and first doing everything, that stuff that I do every day now, I put on my makeup and I take my HRT and all that kind of stuff, was terrifying to me, and it was something that was impossible for me to fathom. And my advice would be to just try it. Go so far in a direction that you're okay, this isn't me maybe. And just to try things and be the best version of you can be.
What I would recommend for incoming queer and trans students would be to, one, go to Saga or Shades if you are able to go to Shades, because there's nothing like being around a group of queer and trans people who are ready and open to accept you. I found a lot of my chosen family and Saga and Shades, and I don't think that I would have been able to find it without Saga or Shades. And so even if you can't attend the meetings, if you're able to come to any of our big events, you should come, because there's nothing like you will never have another experience once you leave college in which you are only surrounded by other queer and trans people. As soon as you leave Westchester's campus, as soon as you graduate, you aren't going to have that same experience of being around queer and trans people all of the time, everywhere you look. And so being in that space is something special. So my plans post-graduation is that I'm actually moving to the city, I'm moving to Philly, and I'm enrolled in the master's program for clinical and counseling psych with a concentration in underserved communities at Chestnut Hill College. So basically, I really want to be able to serve the queer and trans community, and this will really help me be able to do that because I can specialize in doing therapy with diverse and underserved communities.
So my plans after graduation would probably be, I'm staying in Westchester for a year to kind of just take a breather and like reflect on everything that's happened in my life and like work on me. I also applied to be a Barrymore judge, which is like the Tonys of Westchester. So I'm trying to spend my time giving back to Philly Theater because Philly Theater has done so much for me.
So post-graduation, I don't know, I guess I have to find a job now that I'm not in school. But I mean, I want to be out on the West Coast because California is lit. You know, and I just really enjoy being out there, and I hope to find a job out there someday, serving our trans and queer folks in our communities, whether it's out of school, you know, continuing my work in higher ed, or doing something, you know, with counseling or therapy. So.